Hello and happy Monday. It seems like a Monday on a lot of different levels, mostly because I haven't checked in with you guys for a couple weeks. And at that time I had said, hey, I'm going to be done with live videos probably until September Stamp Camp. And then all of a sudden Jacob, shortly after that, contacted me and said, hey Belle, I want to do one of those virtual parties. So I am so excited to start her series of 3 virtual cards I'm going to craft, and today's card number 1. So, and you guys know I love Mondays, so it's fun to have a Monday craft day and do something fun for you guys. So while some more of you jump on board here, I'm going to get my iPad ready to go so that if you guys have questions or just want to say hey or hello, then I can see that you are joining in as well too. So actually this morning I got up pretty early. I'm not a morning person, but I did get up pretty early and I threw on my first like sweatshirt of the season because it was still kind of chilly. And so here I am, it's bright and sunny, and I'm thinking like if I was outside, which I'm going to go collect my tomatoes from my garden soon, might have to change clothes because I think it's a lot warmer now than it was this morning. So hi Shelly, hi Missy, thanks for joining in. So yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll show you a picture of the salsa that I'll make. My hubby and I put together 4 batches one night and have dispersed some of that salsa too, because there's nothing better than that fresh garden salsa. So hopefully you guys are enjoying your gardens and that they're doing well if you have them too. And June, our hostess, is here too. That's great to see you, and Lisa too. So I think I'll get started because I think my iPad is catching up and I should be able to see comments as I go too. And hello, Marie. All right, so you guys know me well enough, if you know me at all, to know I love fall. So ta-da, today is June's card number 1 for her virtual party, and I made it into a fall card. So the fun thing about the products that I'm using today, they come from the holiday catalog, which has this outside cover here. And this was actually a bundle that was one of my favorites last year, and I haven't used it yet, even though like this whole month I've been doing lots with fall projects and different things, but I haven't pulled this one out. And so it's the Gather Together bundle found on page 47. So the fun thing about it, but I'll flip the camera around pretty soon. The fun thing about this bundle is that last year when it was in the holiday catalog, it was bundled together for 10% savings. And I often say, no, I always say that when it goes into the next publication, then you will need to buy the dies and the stamp set separately. But Stampin' Up! Has them with the bundle price of 10% off again in this, since they're bringing it back. So that's really exciting. So, oh good, Marie, you and your sister-in-law are crafting together too. Hi Barb, thanks for joining. So let me get my camera switched around here so that I can start crafting for you guys. Kind of everything feels like I'm like just a second behind with doing like setting up and adjusting my camera, just because I take 2 weeks off and I feel like it's been a 2-month vacation. Hi Julie, thanks for joining in. But just know that I am so super excited to be coming with you again and crafting, and be prepared. September is going to be a fun and exciting month because I will be doing this party today, tomorrow, the next day, and then after that, then I'll start right in with my September Stamp Camp. 10 samples for that. And then I have a couple people that are kind of talking about wanting to be virtual hostesses too. So kind of just a lot going on. So you might be able to catch a lot of inspiration that way too. Okay, so now that I have my camera the right way, I just want to show you it's from the holiday catalog on page 47, and it's the Gather Together bundle. And I feel like with the stamp set here, it's a nice stamp set with lots of nice sentiments and fonts in there that are easy to read. And sometimes it's just a stamp like this with all those little sprinkles or just little dots on there, sometimes that's my favorite one out of the whole stamp set. I know that sounds silly and I'm not using it today, but often I get a lot of usage out of that. But that stamp set and then the dies together are just $38.50. So, and like I said, 10% savings carried through when they brought it back. So I'm excited about that. So I'll set that aside. And then other things that I'm really excited about using with the card. Let me show you the card actually face on, so it's not reversed for you guys. Here it is, kind of using some macaron Cajun craze, and I found those colors from this fun striped paper. So this is the Gilded Autumn specialty paper, and so you can maybe see bits and scraps of pieces that I've used in the past of this paper, and I'm sure you'll be seeing thanks for joining in, Faith. And so there's lots of pretty papers. And so with this, the back side of this fun striped paper has some really shiny, like metallic-y gold, copper. Oh, I like how the camera caught that. But even as pretty as that is, I am a stripe fan. So anytime there's polka dots or stripes, this girl is all about that. So, so that's why I chose that. And then I kind of just from there went, you know what, I'm just going to pick some of these colors of inks and cardstock to kind of match in with that too. So, and let's see, I'm just gonna set this aside too before I start in with my card. And so today I'll be using the Big Shot to do some embossing and some die cutting. And I'm really excited about that because tomorrow customers can order the new Big Shot, and also the magnetic pad for the Big Shot will be available. I don't have that. I will be ordering that tomorrow because I'm excited to get that going and want to be like the first to get that. So hopefully you can see this. I have the right camera angle. June's code is here, but I also will be posting that with the sample when I post the still shot of the card today. So there's a pop as it opens there. And then I think I'm going to do my embossing first with the embossing folders. So this is a 3D folder, and it's the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. So I'm just going to take that out, and it just has a nice kind of matte finish to it. And I'm going to put that in, and I love this mat, especially like for me, this is new for me because I've just had it just this month. And so I love how this, how all of the instructions are on there. So for using 3D folders, then it's just this platform here, and then the number 4 kind of mat that looks like that too. And it has a number 4 up in the corner. So. Hi Lisa, hi Becky, thanks for joining in. Okay, so I'm just gonna set that down and then layer that too. And like I said, one feature that I like, I'm gonna move my camera a little bit here too. I call these my fenders, and they're a little bit wider. I think the old machine, you'll remember kind of the rollers and the wheels and the gears were all in here, and that's kind of all right in this area. So having larger fenders kind of helps keep these mats kind of straight as it goes through too. So hopefully it didn't make you sick to your stomach. I'm always hesitant to move the camera too much, but I kind of wanted to show you when I talk about my fenders, and it goes through so nice and slick. Love it. Okay, so we have that, and then we have this really nice textured look, and we'll see if the camera will pick that up. It kind of did. So kind of like a textile texture, like it says. Okay, and then next I'm going to do just a little bit of stamping. So I'll stamp first, and then it'll make it easier to cut out things. So I'm going to take my Early Espresso ink pad, my Cajun Craze ink pad. Yes, hi Pam, your two sisters are watching with you. So Becky's on here, and Barb's on here, and Pam's on here. It's like sister reunion. And hi Amy, thanks for joining in. Okay, so I'm going to use my Stamp and Pierce mat here because I'm using photopolymer stamps. So then that comes out, so I get a nice crisp image. You can tell that this ink, or the stamp, has been inked up and well loved. One of my favorite ones from last fall. So I'm just going to ink that up in the Cajun Craze and stamp that out. So I'm putting Cajun Craze ink on Cajun Craze cardstock. And then I'm going to pull over some Very Vanilla cardstock here. And with that, I'm just going to stamp the set of 2 pumpkins with early espresso, and then the single pumpkin with early espresso. And these I'm going to actually color in with some of my blends there. And it's unusual for me to not use Memento black ink, but I kind of just wanted that brown color that kind of ties in with the stripes on there and not have it be too black. And because of the coloring I'm doing, it really didn't seem to fade or make it kind of muddy. So that worked out well for this one this time. Just trying to think. And I think that's all I need to do for stamping first before I do more of my die cutting. So I'll bring my machine over again, and this time I'm going to use that platform and then the kind of cover plate or shim, and then my cutting pad. And then these are the dies, the Gathered Leaves dies. There's lots of nice leaves and dies, and what's fun about this one, I didn't have to stamp. I'm just going to, cut this one out, and it's going to cut and emboss the leaf at the same time. Hi, Lois. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do maybe a couple at a time if I can. I'm really looking forward to that magnetic pad that I can purchase tomorrow. A lot of you have asked, can I use my old magnetic pad? And I was thinking we could, but when I looked again, Stampin' Up! Said no. And the magnetic pad is about the same width as one of these cutting pads from the way it looks. So I'm thinking there's a reason, rhyme, and purpose as to why we can't use the old one with the new machine. So if you have any more questions on that, let me know. I just don't want this to move too much. There's always a little bit of give that we can get away with. There. So I'm gonna do 2 of those cuts at the same time. Okay, so this one's going to pop right out like so. Set that aside, and then look how fun this one is. Let me take my take your pick tool. Oh, there we go. Sometimes this one, yeah, just kind of pops like a pocket out, so it makes it easy. So yeah, that one not only cut, but it has a nice, there we go. I love it when it just pops in the camera. Has a nice embossed look to that too. And then these pumpkins, they need to be cut out as well. And I'm gonna see if I can do the set of 2 pumpkins and the big pumpkin at the same time. Now this set of dies actually has 2 of these. Just 1 of the single pumpkin, but 2 of the double pumpkin. So if you're making a lot of pumpkins and want to stamp away and cut them out, you can do 2 at a time with this, just because there is multiples of that die in there. So I just want to set that on. There we go. And I just feel like this accepts it. The machine just slides through so nice and smooth. So I'm, as you can tell, very excited about the new machine. Okay, so I'm gonna have all those pieces done, and I can set that aside. Hi Diane, thanks for joining in. Okay, so this card base here is mint macaron, so that's cut 5.5 by 4 1/4, my usual size. It looks different because I have it going the long way. Often people will say, like, how do you know, like, how did you want to cut it to open this way versus this way. And I always feel like if I have a card that opens up this way, it might like want to go flat after a while. So I try and cut cards with the opening going that way if it wants to sit up, and if the card needs to go this way, then I cut it that way so that you don't have the card sinking as it gets heavy with all the layers and such. So my next layer that I put on here is 5 by 3.75, so a little bit less than the usual. Usually I do like 4 by 5 1/4, so that this time it's just a little bit smaller, so it's 5 by 3.75, and I'm going to tape that down here with my seal adhesive, and I'm going to put that at an angle. So I'm just going to kind of make sure that it's down in that corner, up in that corner and over, and that nothing's going over the edge, because that's always a mess if that happens by accident before you put it in your envelope. And then this pretty striped paper from the Gilded Autumn, I love it. Like I said, some of you might have a tough time not using that pretty edge there, or backside I should say, but you just might have to get more paper. Sometimes that's what's happened. I've just had to buy more of a package to be able to use both sides. Now with the stripes, I'm going to easily line that up the right way. So my Cajun Craze is sitting at a tilt. My stripes I'm gonna have just go straight across. So this is 3 inches by 5 1/4. So having it be 3 inches, then I for sure get 8 out of 1 sheet. So that makes for a nice cut that way. So kind of on purpose, done that way. And then I'm just going to tape a couple of these. I always have to stop and think now, how did I do that, in which order? I'm just gonna put a little bit of tape on these, but I also need to color these in too, my pumpkins. So what's kind of fun is pumpkins have really gotten to be just fun as far as decorations because of the different colors and such. So I'm just going to take my mint macaron, light and dark. I'm going to start with my dark and just go around the top of the pumpkin here. Hi, Linda. Yeah, it's starting to feel like fall. I almost start to get a little nervous when it's this time of year, because my husband gets busy getting everything ready for fall harvest work on the farm here. And I know that I need to up my game with helping out and such, but it's also a fun time of seeing the hard work get put in the bin too. So makes it kind of fun. And fall is my favorite season of all. Okay, so I'm just kind of scribbling, and you might see that look like I was scribbling, so I'm holding it up so you really can see that I just kind of scribbled over the dark lines. I'm just going to set that aside, and I'm going to do the same thing with the duo of the 2 pumpkins here as well too. So I love coloring with my blends. It was kind of fun. I just realized on some of my last projects I didn't use my blends as much, and so it was fun to get those out again today. I didn't used to like to color as much until these blends came out, and I know I say that almost every time, but it's so true. So I really look forward to coloring with them because they're so fun. Now with the light, I just go over all of it, and that kind of just pushes and blends the light and the dark together, but still leaves that focus and emphasis of the dark over those lines on the pumpkin. And you can see like right in the middle of this first pumpkin here how much lighter it looks, because it didn't get a lot of the dark ink. And I'm just going to do that with my big pumpkin here. So doing that just really helps eliminate those scribble lines. But scribbling helped make it so it didn't look like such defined lines, just kind of more of a color. And what's interesting too is at first, Okay, I want to make sure that covers on because these are alcohol based. I want to make sure that they get a good seal. So at first you might still see some of that scribbling, but as time goes on, they will kind of fade into each other, and that's why they're called blends, and they really do blend, and it just sometimes takes a few minutes. And then for the stems, since the stems are so little, I'm just taking the lighter of the two crumb cake colors, and I'm just going to color that in. I didn't think with that amount of space, I wanted to take the time to blend the light and the dark, but you could. And I chose crumb cake because of the crumb cake in my striped paper here. So mint macaron to go with that, striped crumb cake to go with that. And like I said, you see all sorts of pumpkins now when it comes to home decor and even what people are growing in their pumpkin patch. Okay, so I have adhesive on these two things already. These two pumpkins are going to get popped up with dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals on here, like so. And I'm going to flip over my big pumpkin here and put a couple dimensionals behind there. And I think before I start doing even more assembly, I'm gonna just keep lining up things here. And I'm going to do the sentiment. And part of the stamp set here is wishing you well. And I like the font of that. Okay, so let's see, that I did in the early espresso. And here I'm just gonna take this, and I'm kind of leaving a little bit on that edge so that I can stamp over here, like so. Isn't that a pretty font? I just love it because it's kind of fancy, but like not too fancy. And then the Banners Pick-a-Punch, which is also in the holiday catalog towards the back with the Halloween. I always call it the Halloween set because that's what I've used out of it so far, but there's Christmas things, Valentine's things that go with the stamp set with this too. So for those of you that love this banner punch here, then you can see there's kind of the opposite, but there's an easy way to do this by using a punch. I always used to use my scissors, and now we can just feed that in. I cut that strip 3/4 of an inch wide. And so that's gonna go in the middle. So this cuts 1/2 inch, 3/4, and a full inch. Both of these trays do. So that I have right there. And then I can just take and cut that just like so. So we have the sentiment. Now I think we're about ready to do the assembly. And sometimes literally this is how I do it. I know so many people are always like, how do you know what to put where? Honestly, if you see, you can see the shininess of the adhesive on all these pieces and my dimensionals. So a lot of times this is how this starts, is I'll just kind of move around and just kind of gently place things so that they're not on super stuck. And then I know I want to cover up kind of these leaf stems here. So that's where the wishing you well is going to go. And then I just want to make sure that that's equal, or I should say parallel, lined up with the edge of this, not the crooked one, like so. And then these little pumpkins are going to go on that side popped up. And then this one's going to just kind of sit on top of the wishing you well, like so. So that's how I came up with that layout. Hi, Donna. Thanks for joining in live. Sometimes you join in a little bit later based on your schedule. It's fun to have you here. And then I knew I also wanted to pull in something that was kind of fall-like, and there's that beautiful combo ribbon pack that's like coppery shimmery with this mint, but the coppery shimmery was just a little too metallic for kind of the muted colors of fall. And so I was gonna do some just linen thread, and that seemed a little skinny for kind of some of the big lines here and different things. So I thought, oh, I really thought this was perfect for this project, but yet if you use the others, because that's what you have, that'll be fine too. This is the braided linen trim, so it's a little bit thicker here. And I have loved using this braided linen trim. I use it quite a bit. Sometimes I'll wrap things around my projects twice. This time I'm just using just one layer of it. And I was so happy to see in this catalog they came out with braided linen trim in the real red color too. And I've already used that some, and I know I will be as we get into the Christmas season too. So just going to put that, and I kind of want to scoot it down a little bit. And to scoot it, I just kind of arc my card and give it a tug so that it doesn't rip the top. So that way my knot shows up better on this designer series paper than it would if it was just sitting on my crumb cake. I'm gonna switch scissors here to my ribbon cutting scissors. I can just so tell right away when I start to cut which scissor is which. So have that. And then I think to finish my card, all I need to do is add just a little something in the inside. So I'm just going to do the one pumpkin there. And I think I'm just gonna add the double pumpkin over in that corner too. So that still allows plenty of space for writing, but just kind of follows the theme of those two pumpkins onto the inside too. Hi, Linda, thanks for joining in. So I think that is it. Oh, I know what I was gonna share. I always feel like I have that one piece that's sitting here as kind of an alternate, like, hey, this is something that might work too. I didn't know if this wishing you well kind of blended in too much, but I didn't want it to take away too much from kind of the texture that's embossed on that leaf when it was cut out too. So this is what kind of the Very Vanilla, if you put your sentiment on Very Vanilla, that would work too, because the Very Vanilla is what's in between all of these stripes. So if you want a little bit more of a pop of color, Very Vanilla, you could put your wishing you well or whatever sentiment you choose on that too. So sometimes I like to throw around ideas, because sometimes as I'm making cards, I even have a friend that stamps. She's a demonstrator from Texas. Sometimes at like 11 o'clock at night, I'll say, hey, what do you think of this layout, A or B? And I will send her cards and she'll help me with that. But I feel like now that I'm doing Facebook Lives, I can kind of say, hey, what do you guys like? Or guess what? You can just pick your own when you make your own card too. So that is today's card. Let me get things switched around here. There we go. So, and I think also, since I've been with you guys, my room behind me is cleaned out. So that's what happens when we move college kids back. So that's exciting. I love my kids dearly, but it's good to see them in their places. And both my college boys are back in school and enjoying that they're doing that too. So I feel like I have a little bit of fresh air here in the house where it's just cooking for the two of us empty nesters, and it allows for some really fun craft time too. So hope you enjoyed today's card. Just my notes in closing. Today's August 31st, which means it is the last day to redeem any of your bonus codes. If you earn them July 1st through August 3rd, then you can redeem them starting August 4th through today only, and then it's done. And I've contacted everybody that has placed orders, and if you still have some codes that are out there, you will have gotten an email from me. And I think there's just like 3 or 4 of you that I'm like, I don't want to push, but I've just given emails to say, hey, today's the last day. So feel free to let me know if you have questions on using those, or also Stampin' Up. If you lost your code, you can probably call them to say, hey, I need that code again. But keep in mind that they're only open till 8 tonight. So don't wait till midnight and then go, guess what, they're not open. So there's that. And then like I said, tomorrow I will post more details, but there is a join special. So if you want to join Stampin' Up, there is a special for that starting tomorrow for the month of September. And then the new Stamp and Emboss machine is live tomorrow for customers. So if you've had your eye on that, or if you have any questions before you want to dive into a bigger purchase like that, let me know about that too. And Missy, good question. June, I need to ask her when she wants to close her party. So I will touch base with her and try and post that in with the still shot of this card. So yeah, she didn't let me know that, but she still has for sure a good 2 to 3 weeks that she can, but I don't know if she'll close it up earlier just so she can get her stuff earlier. So that's all for crafting today. Tomorrow I might show you my cooking show. Just kidding. Chris always says you need to show your cooking, so I might show you maybe like my jar of salsa or something that I put together tonight. So thanks so much. Again, happy Monday, and if you have any questions on anything, please let me know. Hope you're doing well. And yes, Missy, you can send your order through Messenger. And so yeah, how it works is for June's party is any qualifying order, which is $25 or more, gets the 3 cards that I'm crafting for June's party today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Yes, so you will see me tomorrow, probably in the afternoon. And so you'll get the cards if you order through her party, and then she gets, that's the thank you from her and I, and then your order, if you want it to, which most people do, will ship directly to you. So if you're ordering it online and just putting her code in, it automatically goes to you. And if you're giving me the order, you might need to say, hey, please send this directly to me, and that works out too. So if you have any questions about the ordering part of it, please let me know, because I want to make sure that I do that right. And it's a great time to order because there's hardly any back orders or anything that's not available to order. So that might change tomorrow with the Big Shot, or it's not the Big Shot anymore, the cut and emboss machine. So I want to encourage people to maybe, if you're really interested in getting that machine, order sooner than later too on that. So see you guys tomorrow. Take care.